The famous aircraft designer Marcel Dassault once said, "A beautiful aircraft is always a good aircraft, and an ugly one is either not mass-produced or has some special features." From World War II until today, the US military has rejected many sleek and beautiful warplanes, and even more for their ugly appearance. The A-7 Corsair belongs to the category of fighters that were ugly but mass-produced. As Dassault says, the A-7's unattractive appearance in no way diminishes its lethal capability. If we were to ask which aircraft most deserved the title of bomb truck before the A-10 Thunderbolt II, it would undoubtedly be the A-7, also known as the Corsair II, initially designed to replace the A-4 Skyhawk. Before we get started, please like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. The U.S. Navy has placed a high value on the attack capabilities of aircraft carriers. Thus, the demand for carrier-based attack aircraft has always been strong. In the 1950s, the United States began developing the A-6, a medium-sized carrier-based attack aircraft. The A-6 had nearly completed its development in the early 1960s. However, the Navy needed to find a partner for the A-6, specifically a light carrier-based attack aircraft, to complement the A-6's shortcomings. The original light attack aircraft, the A-4E Skyhawk, was inadequate for this role due to its limited bomb load and short combat radius. The design proposal by Ling Temco Vought, who merged in 1961, won the favor of the Navy. The proposal involved increasing the internal fuel capacity and enhancing the structural strength of the airframe based on the F-8 Crusader. The advantages of this approach included less technical difficulties, quick development, good performance, and low procurement costs. Vought shortened the fuselage of the F-8 and reduced the sweep angle of the wings, removing the variable incidence wing mechanism. The engine was the non-afterburning TF-30 turbofan engine. Outboard ailerons were added to the wings, and structural strength of the fuselage and wings was enhanced to carry over 15,000 pounds of weapons. The F-8 Crusader was originally a carrier-based aircraft, so the plan not only saved development costs but also considerably shortened the development time for the A-7. The A-7 began development in June 1963. The prototype YA-7A made its maiden flight in September 1965, and production models began delivery in October 1966. The process took just over 3 years, setting a record for the development of U.S. military aircraft. The A-7 was initially designed solely for U.S. Navy carriers, and because of its excellent performance, the U.S. Air Force and Air National Guard later adopted it to replace the A-1 Skyraider attack aircraft, the North American F-100, and the Republic F-105 fighter bombers. After entering service, the A-7 Corsair II was further improved and developed into multiple variants. A total of 1,569 A-7 aircraft were produced. The last A-7 of the Greek Air Force was retired in October 2014. The Corsair II has significantly improved performance of the Skyhawk and the Crusader. Its airframe adopted a swept-wing high-wing configuration. Significant upgrades over the F-8 included a larger wingspan, a shorter fuselage, and additional pylons. A turbofan engine replaced the jet engine with lower thrust but better fuel efficiency. The electronic equipment was upgraded also. These improvements have transformed this fighter into a high subsonic, long-range, heavy payload carrier-based attack aircraft. The result was that the A-7's combat radius increased by 70% compared to the A-4, with an internal fuel range reaching 1,231 miles, extendable to 1,491 miles with auxiliary fuel tanks. Its payload capacity reached 6.8 tons. However, due to the reduced thrust, its speed dropped from the Crusader's supersonic to subsonic, with a maximum speed of only Mach 0.9. The F-8 was the last U.S. military aircraft to use cannons as its primary air combat weapons, so it had protective armor installed around the fuel tanks, engine, and cockpit. The A-7 naturally continued this design. The A-7 used a swept wing design, with a 5-degree dihedral on the main wing and a 35-degree sweep angle at the quarter chord line. The outer surface of the wing was aluminum alloy skin, and the interior served as a fuel tank. The outer wing sections of the main wing were hydraulically operated and could be folded to reduce ground space. The A-7's flat tails and drogue tails are full motion. The A-7 had an unloaded weight of 8.68 tons, making it lighter than the A-6's 12-ton airframe, placing it within the range of the U.S. military's light attack aircraft. In terms of weaponry, the A-7's 6 pylons could carry GBU-8 laser-guided bombs, AGM-45 anti-radiation missiles, AGM-62 television guided bombs, AGM-65 Maverick missiles, AGM-88 HARM high-speed anti-radiation missiles, and conventional bombs. Unlike other carrier-based aircraft of the same era, the A-7 also had two towers on the sides of the fuselage, which could carry AIM-9 Sidewinder short-range air-to-air missiles. It gave significantly better self-defense capabilities compared to other carrier-based attack aircraft. Throughout the Vietnam War, the A-7 was the only U.S. Navy attack aircraft providing close air support to ground troops. 10 aircraft carriers and 20 carrier-based squadrons were equipped with A-7s. From its first mission on December 4, 1967, to the end of the Vietnam War on January 28, 1973, the A-7 flew 49,000 sorties, totaling over 200,000 flight hours, and dropped approximately 186,000 tons of bombs. With the introduction of the A-7E, which could deploy guided weapons, the overall combat loss rate of the A-7 dropped to an astonishing 2.5%. According to later U.S. military data, on average, 1,600 sorties or 3,600 tons of bombs were dropped before one A-7 was lost. Completing missions effectively under the dense firepower of Vietnam with such a low loss rate makes the cost of the aircraft worthwhile, even if it were twice as expensive. Alright, that's all for this episode. Remember to like, subscribe, and please share if you've enjoyed it. See you in the next episode.